Alright, hi everyone, hope this video finds you well. So what's really the problem? What are we really trying to address by doing these podcasts and all this other non-duality stuff that's floating around the internet? It's really about that deep sense that there's something wrong, that there's some kind of loss, or that I'm not okay, or I'm not complete, or I feel limited. That inner wrongness, that sense that, oh god, this isn't it. No, not here. I'm gonna keep going. And that momentum of trying to seek and see looking in and seeing what that stuff really is. And obviously what is noticed is that all of that is appearance to what we really are. It's self-evident right now because all of this stuff can only be appearing in relation to that presence of awareness, which is right. It's not even right here, it's before right here. So it's like seeing that. I mean, what's the problem with that? What's the issue with this awareness? What's going on with awareness for there to be a problem? And obviously there's nothing there to have a problem because there isn't anything besides that awareness. So it's just a matter of seeing that directly. You can, in a way, it's like feeling into it. Yeah, it's just a simple feelingness, an intuitive sense in a way. That's the taste. And then just following that taste, it's like, oh, okay, well, there it is. It's here. It's subtle maybe, but it's still here. And the mind seems to want attention, in a sense. So the attention tends to sort of drift up and get caught into the selfing mechanism. But all that is just also perceived. It's seen for what it is by that which doesn't move. So like what's really the problem? I mean, people say I'm still seeking. I sort of see it and I sort of don't. It's sometimes here, it's sometimes I lose it or but see, that's all coming out of a sense of being something that you're not, really. Unfortunately, that's still part of that same mechanism because we're still in the concepts then about what this is or whatever. And then we attribute experience to a false experiencer. So I saw this yesterday, and then today it slipped away. Well, who knows that, right? I mean, what's the aware presence in which that happens, that experience? And see, it becomes very obvious that all of this stuff is transient. So what really are we attempting to do here? Just have a look, just to have a fresh look at what's really the case. Because we've taken everything on board for so long, all these notions that we've been taught, and we haven't questioned them, and we've lived under their pretense. So it's like, I've been living a lie. That's what it felt like the whole time. I'm living this lie. I don't want anyone to see I'm living the lie. I don't want myself to see it. I just want to be happy, but I also want to live in the way that I'm used to. So I'm in this struggle. It's like I want this pleasure. I want to feel better, but I don't want to give up my concepts because they're familiar. But see, the presence undercuts all of that because the presence that we are is actually far more familiar than any concept. Even the most seemingly intimate concept is foreign in comparison to the naked presence. Because as a baby, as an infant, that's all there was. There were no words, so there's nothing to compare to. There's only that familiarity. So it's quite a simple thing, really. Simple no thing. We're not dealing with anything complicated here. I mean, what's the complication with awareness? It's just aware already. Thinking just happens. I mean, looking for this thinker, right? I mean, where is the point of origin of any identity, right? I'm the thinker, I'm the one feeling, I'm the doer. All of these conceptualized notions that arise. are perceived, they come and go. It's not like I'm always that. I can't always be the thinker. Otherwise, that's all I could ever do. I would just be churning out thoughts and regulating thinking and doing all that. I mean, where's the doer in deep sleep? Who's, it's just simple looking. And you can use little pointers or whatever, but obviously pointers are pointing to what you are. So it's not as though the pointers need to be cherished and compared and thrown around and sort of regulated or something. Have a review board about the pointers, who has the best pointer, and we're going to compare them and, fire the one who wrote the weaker pointer. Promote the one that has the best pointers. Because pointers are just that. I mean, what's the difference? Anywhere you point is that. If you look at any object, you're going to find yourself. So there's nowhere to look that isn't what you are. The lookingness itself is what you are. So it's not even a matter of having to look deeper or anything. Not even the act, but the very presence of the looking itself is that. So, because usually it's like, okay, I need to look deeper and deeper and dissect this and get through that and this and that. But the actuality of that lookingness is what we're talking about. The seeing. It's more like seeing. Because looking implies more of a process, maybe. It's the naked seeingness right here. And maybe there's an apparent process going on. But you can look into that and see, well, what's that all about? And when I say you can look into it, I'm not talking about an entity. So what's the process, and who does that appear to? And who's in the process, right? Is there anyone actually in the process? Or is there just processing going on? Because the whole thing that keeps the process alive is that I'm the one in the thing, and I need the process to go a certain way, and I need to sort of control it and make sure it happens properly, and that I get the result out of it, because a process implies a future, right? Something to get in the future if the present processing goes a certain way and steers me towards the big pot of gold or something. But none of that applies to what we are. We are the pot of gold, but it's right here. We're sitting on the gold mine. We're sitting on this treasure, and yet we're busy picking through garbage of concepts. It's like, who would choose to do that? I mean, there's no blame because no one actually chose any of it. It just arose in a sense. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen to do that if I had any independent volition or something. But anyway, it's simply a matter of seeing, which is already the case. You can't not see this, because you are actually looking as this at all times. So what's the problem? Find the problem maker if you are so inclined. And thanks so much for listening, and all the best.